Okay, we are going to do something very, very different. Something that I don't think has ever been done in the history of Boom Beach. What we're going to do is I'm going to clear my map, and we're going to use each hero once. We're going to use every single ability. We're going to go from Cluster Grenade to Iron Will to Battle Orders to Crystal Critters to Ice Shields to Second Wind to Critter Swarm to Explosive Charges to Universal Remote to Taunt to Energy Drink. And finally, Shock Knuckles. If my math is accurate, that should be 12 different bases. And we're going to start with the Cluster Grenade, which, actually, you know what? I'm going to go in my order of most useless to least use. Maybe no, we'll just go top to bottom. Check the comments. I will rank them later on. But for now, let's just get this rocking. I am full boosted, so we are going to be able to do this fairly easily. Just to make it a little bit more interesting, we will use, let's say we'll start with 2 boats, and we will use an extra boat for every ice they have, or something along those lines. So right now, this person has no ice, so we're only going to use 2 boats and Brick. Let's use 2 boats of Zookas, get Brick out. Now, this is Brick's worst ability by a huge margin. Now, it is pretty good for low levels. I will definitely see you do that. But at a high level, it's completely useless. Like, there is nothing good about this ability. Once you get past, like, HQ... Once you get Smoke, we'll say, just to keep it simple. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to avoid all these mines. I feel like we might be able to. But, huge army is going to face the wrath, the sheer wrath and destruction of the Cluster Grenade. So we're going to throw some critters. We're going to shock here and here and here and maybe over here too. And just Cluster Grenade. Cluster Grenade doing huge work, doing no work at all. But we lost 0 Zookas with 2 boats, so Cluster Grenade's not that bad after all. Obviously, we are full boosted, and so that is playing much more of a factor than the hero. There goes Cluster Grenade. On to Iron Will. Iron Will, a lot of heavy Zooka players thought it was going to be very, very good. Oh no, we've got some ice. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ice. So that gives us 7 boats of Zookas, I think we agreed on. 1 per ice, but although 1 is boosted, so I don't know how we're going to compensate for that. Should I go with 8? Let's go with 7 boats for now. Just because that's... I feel like boosted ice should count as an extra, but we will go without for now. I'm going to BART out these machine guns. I don't want to have to throw shocks behind me. By doing it this way, all of our shocks are going to be in front of us, which should help a little bit. Now, I've used quite a bit of GBE already, but thankfully smokes are cheap. We've got... Now, I would say that this is... Brick only really has 1 good ability. Second Wind... no, not Second Wind. What is this thing called? Iron Will is useless. Like, it's fairly useless. I think we're about to lose Brick, maybe. Nope, we lost some Zookas instead, so that's good. So, keeping Brick alive, keeping her useless ability in tow. Now, this will actually save a couple Zookas, probably, because those sniper towers or boom cannons or things are going to shoot the Zookas, which is not super awful, to be honest. I mean, look at that. We saved a couple Zookas there. We're going to throw some more critters out here. We'll get some more of that Iron Will out. And come on, down goes the base. We lost a handful of Zookas, only using 7 boats. Battle orders would have been far better, obviously. But we're working our way down the chain. Lost 3 Zookas there. Now, this is why I have to say I like clearing my map with Zookas. You don't lose a lot of troops, especially when you're full boosted. So, generally, this is part of the reason why I recommend it. What does that say? XIX. Oh, this used to be the global #1 for quite a while, as you can tell by that red badge there. I got a sneeze coming. Sneezed. Done. Okay, so we see 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at how much damage they have. This is definitely a crab account, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Where's your extra statue? There, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's your 10th statue, you sneaky, sneaky person? There it is, right there. Okay, not terribly sneaky. 2, let's get a barrage in here. So no ice. So we're just going to we'll use 1 boat zookas for this one. Just because there is no need to use more. We're going to get 1 boat zookas up into here. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using 1 boat zookas, it's actually a great way to practice. If you're using 1 boat zookas, you have to have good shock placement, you have to have good critter placement, and you have to have good troop placement. So, if you're not comfortable with zookas, please do give it a try. Try attacking with fewer troops. Uh-oh, my zookas need to get back underneath that smoke pretty darn quickly. Let's do a little grandma flare in here, as PSC Life, Mr. Ryan likes to call them. And then we're just going to sit back behind the core. And now our critters are going to be super important. I mean, realistically, not all that important. But we're going to throw critters there. We're going to shock here, and we might as well shock that boom cannon too. And that should melt the core for us. Little bit cheeky with 1 boat of Zookas sitting at almost 1200 DP, but there's no ice. So maybe we should use 1 boat of Zookas instead of 2 for our baseline, but we're going to stick with 2 because that's what we agreed upon. Moving right along. Goodbye, Brick. That was fun. Let's use kevan. Kevan with Zookas, I gotta say, is not terribly useful, but we're going to try and find something for them to do. The crystal critters I do not like at all. So if you are a low level, I know it's tempting, but please don't waste your time upgrading crystal critters because, actually, let's see, we got 1, 2 ice that I can see. So we're going to go with 4 boats of Zookas. 1, 2, 3, 4, and what's his face? Now, that was not a good, let's retreat. We need to keep what's his face alive. Now you see that I put the flag for him way up top? That was not a smart move. I should have put it underneath the smoke. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right, meow. Okay, so we had some recording issues. My cable seems like it's reached end of life, which is going to be a huge problem, but I've basically duct taped it together. Hopefully that's enough to get us through this video. We have kevan loaded, as we previously talked about, so I'm going to try it with 3 boats of Zookas. We've got 2 ice. We could use 4, but I find with kevan, he just will not make it. And he won't get underneath smoke. So we're going to drop kevan way up the top there with the flag. That should get him at least in the general vicinity of where we want him to be. Now, he's probably going to stay behind, so I throw my smokes a little bit with a little bit of overlap just to give him time to catch up. Now, spoiler alert, he's probably not going to catch up, but we're hoping that he will. That smoke on the core is for critters, just hoping that we can do something magical with our smoky critters. We're going to shock here and here and here and here and here. And throw some more critters back there. kevan is actually doing some good here. Look at that. Him and his healing critters actually kept our troops alive a little bit. So, kevan with Zookas, not really recommended. This whole kevan stretch, I'm not scouting, I'm just hitting attack. I'm really hoping we get some decent bases that aren't terribly difficult, because kevan does not do well with Zookas. Now, you'll notice my ice shields are level 5. I upgraded those before Bullet came out, thinking that ice shields with warriors was going to be good. And to be frank, it wasn't bad, but it's not great. So we're going to try it with Zookas. Probably going to be able to save a couple troops by doing it this way, which is not a bad thing. Let's just see. That's a good enough hole. This person has 1 ice that's visible. 1, 2, 3. Probably has closer to more like 4 or 5 based on the fact that I can only find 5 offensive statues. But we're going to go with the fact that they've got 1 visible. And we'll use 3 boats of Zookas with kevan. 1, 2, 3. And we'll get kevan over up there. Gonna use extra fat smokes, as we mentioned earlier, and we're gonna go right to there. Hoping now, notice I'm using a lot of GBE to clear mines, and the reason for that is because I do not have troop health. If we hit one mine, we lose all of our troops. Now, ice shields, sort of useful. We're gonna push the button, and I need to flare the core. I almost forgot to do that. Let's throw some more shocks out there. One more of those things. What are those things called again? Ice shields. And hopefully... Hopefully we can get this down in one more shot. Let's throw a med kit. Yeah, I forgot to shock the shock launcher, which was a bigger issue. I find that using kevan with Zookas, a lot of things happen at once. And I want to throw flares. I want to throw a flare on core. I want to throw my critters, then I want to shock. And having to use Ice Shield just is an extra step, and that step tends to throw me off my game a little bit. So, a little bit more challenging for sure. And I don't think you want challenging when you're trying to hit a core with Zookas. So, that is why I tend to stay far, far away from kevan. I just used an extra boat of Zookas by accident. So, we're going to carry on. I don't want to retreat and waste more of your time with kevan. So maybe, just maybe, kevan will make it there. Maybe he won't. And either way, we're just going to carry on. I assume this person has more ice. I just do it out of habit. So I'm going to push the ice shield button super early. I'm going to throw my critters. Shocking, 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 shocking. And that should get us through it, I think. That got us through with 0 losses. 1 loss, sorry. And kevan got knocked out, but I kind of like it when kevan gets knocked out, because I don't like you, Kevin! Kevin! It's almost that time of year, by the way. Home Alone coming up soon. Christmas movie. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Is it Die Hard? Is it Home Alone? Is it Dumb and Dumber? Do you consider Dumb and Dumber and Die Hard Christmas movies? Do let me know. Why I'm talking about Christmas, I don't know. We're far, far from Christmas. And it's way too early. We're not even at Halloween yet. So we got Alosh up there with... Everyone's got no ice today. My fingers are also really fidgety, in case you can notice me zooming in and out and wiggling and woggling. Perhaps it's all the Tylenol daytime cold and sinus that I just took. Regardless, we're going to drop our troops. We're going to get 2 boats of Zookas up in there. And then we're going to go for a little walk right to about here. I want to hide in that rocket launcher's blind spot, and I really, really don't want to get hit by a mine at the same time. So, again, I think it's called like a... Someone please let me know what that word is, where you throw your second last smoke last. We're going to get second wind out here, I guess. We're going to throw critters and shocks and shocks and shocks and shocks and critters and medkits. And no losses against Alosh. Let's kill some troops just to give Mr. or Mrs. Alosh some intel / diamonds. Alosh, sorry, don't have time to drop more than 1 or 2, I guess maybe it is. But nonetheless, there goes kevan. I'm so happy we're through the kevan days. Let's get Critter Swarm out. Critter Swarm is fairly useful for low levels, fairly useful for Mega Crab, but not with Smoky Troops so much. So, not going to gain much benefit from this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to smoke on top of that hot pot. What do you have? You've got 1 ice. So, we're going to use 3 boats of Zookas, 1, 2, 3, and Miss Everspark, and we're going to smoke right up to there. I don't really know what we're going to do with Everspark. We're just going to walk right up to here. 1, 2... Maybe some critters for fun. I don't really know what the critters are going to do for us. But at least you can activate her ability underneath smoke. Let's go shock, 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 shock. And critters are not really helping us much. Actually, maybe they did a little bit for that 1 rocket launcher salvo. Oh no! Oh, we didn't get it down. 3 Zookas was not enough. I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, just not skilled enough. Did not do well. On those kind of hits, I always use Brick, because Brick gives you extra damage, extra, what are those things called? Extra speed, Those things are called speed, apparently. Apparently, that makes sense somewhere in the back channels of my brain. Let's get our 3 boats of Zookas up into here, and then everspark. You'll notice that you don't need to keep the delay when you drop your troops if you don't want to. I try to, as a general rule, because it makes our hits easier, especially with only 3 boats. But I got lazy there, and we didn't do it, so either way, doesn't really matter. Critters, and shocks, and shocks, and shocks, and shocks, and shocks, and more critters, and more critters. And down it goes. Now, you'll notice that we're not shocking those far rocket launchers, because that's what our critters are for. We want to shock. I like to shock things that are behind me or beside me, and then use critters for things that are across from me. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're not sure how to use critters, please do hit me up in the comments. Explosive charge. Now, please try explosive charge, and please leave the sound on. I have to say that explosive charge is one of my favorite sounds in the game. Listen to this when she throws it, assuming she actually gets a chance to throw it. Like, it's pretty good. The sound effects that come with explosive charge are pretty great. I highly recommend turning sound on. Not necessarily, like, a lot of people don't like to play with sound on. I do like to play with sound on, because and that way you can hear the rockets going and you're like, oh no, I'm doomed. Really helps for things that are off screen. What does this person have? They have 2 ice, kind of have 4 ice because they're boosted, but we're going to stick with our previously agreed upon rules. So we can take a total of 4 boats of Zookas and Miss Everspark, and we're just going to get walking. I like to drop Everspark last because she walks fast. I'm a poet, and that was totally not intentional. Reading too many kids' books, obviously. Let's get moving. Get over into here. Current favorite kids' book, by the way, is If I Built a Car. Same person who made If I Built a House. Pretty great books. You should read them to your kids. Also, the Weird Al books. Weird Al made some kid books. When I Grow Up was his, that's right. Anyways, you get the basic idea. What we're going to do here is I'm actually going to clear to core, because I don't want to have to keep shocking these flamethrowers forever, and hopefully I don't kill all of my own troops, and as a result, hopefully we can just burn this candle. Let's get some more critters out front, and we're just going to keep trying our bestest to melt that core. So we lost only a couple troops. Explosive charge might have helped a little bit, maybe, but at least it made cool sounds. We're halfway done, I think. I think we're halfway done. We did all of brick. No, we're more than half. What am I talking about? We're in the home stretch, folks. Let's get rid of that, and we'll move on to the universal remote. Hopefully I have enough bases. I counted beforehand. Universal remote against 1, 2, 3 ice base. Let's park right about here where this cannon is. Now, if you're curious about why I'm hitting from where I'm hitting, please do hit me up. I tend to just make it up as I go along, and if I fail, I go back and fix it. Right now I'm just trying to hit from this rocket launcher's blind spot. Kind of doesn't make a ton of sense because I have to shock that mortar anyways, but whatever. So with 3 ice, that's going to be 5 boats of Zookas. I'm going to go with 2 smokes this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, Miss Sparky. Lost the delay because I am a scrub. And we will get right back into there. Oh, there's a mine right there, isn't there? Yeah, I just lost most of my Zookas. Not scouting very well is my MO, it seems. Now, I think we're gonna... Oh, I'm really hoping she was gonna select that shock launcher, but she didn't. So we're gonna throw critters and shocks and shocks and shocks and shocks and more critters and more critters and more hacks and probably fail because we just don't have enough damage. Maybe, just maybe, we should flash kill that shield generator. I don't know if we're going to have enough damage without brick. So, now one of the advantages of using fewer boats is that you actually end up, obviously, with troops left over if you fail. I'm a big fan of not losing all of my troops. Let's see if we can get that mine down. No, we can't. I kind of figured we couldn't, but it was worth a shot. Let's get one more barrage out here. Oh, so let me know what you think about the locations of my placements. If you would hit the core from somewhere else, if you would barrage differently. Let's get everspark out there. Obviously, you would probably use different troops than I am. That's okay. That's okay. Oops, we're gonna get over into here. Get into here, trying to save our troops before we get near those mines that are gonna be wrapping right behind that sniper tower. Now, oh, we just lost all of our Zookas. Oh man. Mines, mines, mines. This is why. Now, a lot of people are really, really against troop health when it comes to Zookas. Our task force likes to call it training wheels. Use troop health when you're learning. Troop health is good. Troop health will save you from attacks like that. But once you get moving along, this person has 4 ice. I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Okay, so I did not see this ice statue hidden back by that iron storage. That's going to save us a little bit. And let's get rid of this mortar and go from... That's a slightly better spot. I'm going to barrage to get rid of that mine as well. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? So we're going to use a bunch of extra GBE because I don't like to wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Miss Sparky. That should give us a bit more firepower. Like 20% more firepower. Not that anyone is... hopefully that math is right. That seems fairly simple. But, 1/5 more is 20% more. Anyways, let's get our Zookas back into here. And then we'll get right into there. I'm not going to flash kill anything. We're just going to hit the core. I should be able to get rid of that cannon. Yes, we did. I think we're going to be on the very edge of that rocket launcher's range, so I'm going to shock it too. That should get us so that there's nothing major hitting us, and then we can just wreck the core. Only lost a couple Zookas that time, even though we, just shocking splash damage with Zookas. Fairly straightforward. Don't know what was going on before. Trying to use critter shields too much, I think. Anyways, I think that's all for Everspark. Are we almost done? Yes, we are. We're going to start with Taunt, then we'll work our way to the right. I've been using Shock Knuckles with Zookas a lot lately. I'm having a bit of fun with it, but that is later on. For right now, we're going to use Taunt. Now with Taunt, I really, really like to use one boat of Zookas where possible. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You probably have an ice hidden statue, or I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't find the 10th statue, or I counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we got 10. So they have no ice, thankfully. So we're going to use one boat of Zookas because it's my favorite way to crush bases with bullet. We're going to go like so, and we're going to go like so. Now, one boat of Zookas with bullet is my favorite way to take down many, many, many bases. Anyone you know who says like they've got a really good base, as long as they don't have copious amounts of ice, please do try to take them down with one boat of Zookas and Mr. Bullet, because usually you can pull it off. It's how we get people in Triangle 9 who come in with one ice to drop their ice, actually. I'm going to come over into here. And then I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to shock bullet. This is also good practice for those bases like Green Shield or like Cooker or any of those other bases that require shocking bullet. And now we can flare the core, shock the grappler, and that should basically do it for us. Bullet just standing there, getting shot in the face, and our Zooka's doing their Zooka thing. I think we lost one Zooka to the boom mine that was somewhere over in here, and otherwise one boat of Zookas taking down almost 1200 VP. Don't worry about those statues. One Zooka lost. On to the energy drink. Energy drink is fairly useless with Zookas, but we will try it out against Pollo 3-4 ice, which gives us, what did we agree upon? 6 boats of Zookas, I guess. That's no fun. I'm going to use critters to clear mines because I don't care about the delay so much. And we're just going to walk our Zookas up the middle. 1, 2, 3. You know what? Let's use proper amounts. This video is starting to get long in the tooth. I don't know where that expression comes from or why I decided to use it for the first time in my life, but long in the tooth. And we're about to lose Zookas to that mine right there. You'll notice that I kind of just make it up as you go along, and once you get used to smoking troops, everything slows down a little bit. It's not like it just gets like the Matrix style, but it definitely does get easier once you get used to it. So if any of you out there are like, whoa, this is crazy, which I don't think any of this actually is, please just try it. It gets easier, it gets better, and you will not regret trying. Let's flare the core. We're going to throw critters. We're going to shock here and here and here, I guess. Maybe here too. And more critters. Oh, look at that. We almost got absolutely obliterated. So clearly my shocks were a little bit late, but we managed to take down Pollo! Super chicken. I don't know what Gian means. Gian? My French accent is coming out instead of Spanish. I think that's Spanish, maybe? Someone let me know in the comments. Okay, we're almost done, folks. This is the last attack of the day with Shock Knuckles. Shock Knuckles, the advantage that Shock Knuckles has for Zookas is that it gets bullet far, far, far from your Zookas, which means they don't get splashed. This is a French dude, I believe, or maybe it's Fox. Either way, we're just gonna, I'll barrage some troops for you, Mr. Fox, but I don't have time to donate intel and diamonds to every single person today. Which really bugs some people. Like, there are times where people just get super, super upset that when you don't drop intel, that's really does not make any sense to me. Like, it's a gift. Like, it's like when kids get mad because they don't get their favorite toy for Christmas. Like, anyways. There's one player in particular who's gotten really pissy about me not giving them intel one time when I was, like, super stressed and busy, and screw off is all I gotta say. So, we're gonna flare the core. You'll notice the Zookas are gonna stay way, way back, and Bullet's gonna rush forward, which is gonna be super awesome. See that separation? Look at that separation between Bullet and the Zookas. It works really, really well, and I need to shock again. So, we're gonna shock again, and that should basically do it for that base and for the video. Let's get rid of our troops. So, Zookas with every single ability. Please let me know what you think, which ability you will be trying out, which one you will never be using, and all of that fun stuff. Otherwise, I'm Zmot. Thankfully, my cable did not disconnect again. Thanks for coming in. I shall talk to you soon. Peace.